Swimming is the 5th studio album from Mac Miller, the late Mac Miller. This album is very controversial. Die-hard fans, it's seen as like the greatest work of art, and from the average listener, it's got a huge track list. Of course, he wrote all the songs and worked on all of them, but there's a lot of people.
Mac tragically passed away not long after the release of this album, and I remember the reaction from some of my friends and coworkers who are big Mac fans. It's unfortunate also that this release was really muffled by the massive release of Astroworld. I was looking forward to this one too, actually, because my taste certainly has changed, especially in hip-hop, geared more towards the kind of stuff that Mac does here. And I know how passionate his fan base is. They bullied Fantano into giving Circles an 8 or something like that. Yeah. Fantano is not one to cave to the mob. We're still both going to be fair here. Neither of us, I don't think, subscribe to the philosophical school of, oh, he's dead. Everything he ever did in his life was saintly and shall not be criticized under any circumstances. Circumstances rush.
In terms of his production, his skills were very notable, and I think he did a lot for the scene. Lyrically, I think there's times where he really excels, and I feel like there's also times where he stumbles over himself, unfortunately. His Circles album, I thought, was much better than what he's put out in the last couple of years, which I know is not controversial, but like you don't think Swimming is a work of art, you just die.
Without further bovine excrement, I'm Darius King.
And I'm Metalhead. This is Come Back to Earth. Production and mix of the song is just stellar. The reverb on the vocals and the layered pieces work just so well, and it's a dreamy intro to start off. Bass guitar and piano are molded so well. It's very strong. The lyrics are very relatable, and they're very descriptive in storytelling, and it's some of the best I've seen.
I actually did like this one.
Yeah.
When I first listened at the gym, I'm like, oh, I like where this is going. Like a cool electric piano ballad. You know, if we have some stuff like this, I could definitely get behind it.
It really gives a great start to what you're going to expect. I would give this one an 8. Back to the classic hip-hop vibes that he's known for. You know, the typical yeah, melody-driven aspects of it. It's got a good flow.
Wasn't he like a decent guitar player, too? Like, there was a video of him playing behind his head on a Telecaster.
On his Telecaster. A lot of his added vocal uses kind of get taken away when he kind of drowns it out with a lot of the other samples. I think lyrically, again, it is strong, but it also suffers from a little bit of repetitiveness. The mix is good, but it's just a little drowny. Maybe because it's Swimming, that's what he was going for. Give it a 6. Excellent song. And the stellar bass line from Thundercat. What a great feature. It is the same bass line the whole song, but honestly, it's just structured so well that you could use it for the whole thing.
Thundercat was everywhere around this time. I think he was on Astroworld too.
Yeah, he's good. A good flow. Also, like I was mentioning earlier, he kind of trips over his own lines at certain points because he thinks so big, and he has a great progression and an idea. The transition on the back half was somewhat of a rough transition. It was a well-needed transition. I just feel like they could have had it less of like a bus crashy kind of transition.
I like bus crashy as an adjective. That's pretty good.
When they transition out of it back into the main part, it works great. Overall, good song though. Give this one a 7.5. Perfecto for me sees the start of a little decline. It's kind of a rough intro. It's got good transitions, and the atmosphere it captures is good, and it follows off of Come Back to Earth. It's still something I've heard about 100 times so far. 5.5.
Still on the positive side there. Like that.
All right, this is where I'm going to get shot. One of the most listened to songs and talked about songs on this album. It has a great intro. Unique effects capture the feel of the record, like I've said before. Strong lyrics as well, but it's just so damn repetitive. It has a good transition. Then it goes into that typical hi-hat, ear-shattering bass drum mix that you've heard 10,000 times. Mac just kind of kills the rest of the song with his just for the rest of the song. The beat itself overall was good, but this is the 5th track so far. I've already heard it 4 times. I give this song a 5. So I will be dead when this comes out because my house will be burned down. Horrendous intro. Again, strong lyrics, very descriptive. Excellent beat, very spacey grooving, this great jazz feel. Overall, the atmosphere is very good. Terrible vocal performance. Decent jazz fusion beat. For this one, can you just like zoom in on you sleeping? It's got decent lyrics, boring beat.
Overall,
Is it the best album from Mac Miller? No. Probably one of his better ones. Does it have some of his best work on here? Yeah, a few songs. Put a lot more thought into lyrically because of what he was going through with his breakup with Ariana Grande. He did keep the atmosphere for most of the songs on this list, but songs start to blend into themselves. Once you get to the fourth or fifth track on here of 13 of that vibe and that type of direction, you don't need to listen to the rest of the album because it's the same thing. I think Circles was a much more coherent project. I think it was more straightforward. It's probably one that it's a very ambitious album. It has a lot good, but it also has a lot of bad. Overall, I give it a 6.